Good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Pugh of the Pastors Course of the Home Bible College. Want to be just doing another video for you, video number 23, and this time it's keep a note on missionaries and missions and on pastoral and evangelistic ministry. That's a big title. Let's look at it together, shall we? The pastor's interest in the world doesn't stop just with politics or commerce or even art and science. It's an interest in the peoples of the world and how they might be reached with the gospel. So begin to build up an overall picture of the world influence of missionaries and missions in general. There's nothing more interesting for a pastor as he thinks about the world that becoming interested in the spread of the life-changing gospel message in the world, and not only in evangelistic work and revivals, but in pastoral ministry and spiritual development of the Christian church overseas. If you're a member of a particular denomination or not, begin to find out about what God is doing through your particular church associations in the world. Introduce this work into your church and get people interested and actively involved. Get them actively involved in the missionary work that's going on. Christians love to read of missionary work, and they love to support and encourage missionary activity. When Christian women or men come together to think and pray about mission work, it brings them alive. But nothing brings them more alive than personal communication with missionaries in person. We all read of missionary journeys of the Apostle Paul, but there are people today doing almost exactly the same as what he did. There are hundreds of other fields of mission. There is translation work, there's hospital missions, there are city missions, there's boat missions, there's literature missions, there are Christian schools, colleges, seminaries. There are believers terribly in need in every continent of the world. And of course, there is the persecuted church. In Acts chapter 8, verse 25, it says, when they had testified and preached the word of the Lord, returned to Jerusalem and preached the gospel in many villages of the Samaritans. That's in Acts chapter 8, verse 25. You see, the apostles, when they went on their journeys, they didn't just go on the journey and put their feet up. No. On the journey, they'd come into villages and they'd come into towns and they'd come into hamlets. And what they would do is they'd stop and they'd inquire about the Christians that are there. And they'd go to see them and encourage them in the Lord. And that made that journey much more meaningful. And then there's missionary work right on your doorstep, in the next city or in the next town or in the next village or maybe in your street. Think about the missionary work being carried out in your home area. What is God doing in your street? And how could you help with your church with what God is doing? So here's some questions for you to think about and to pray about. What interest do you have in missionary work worldwide? 2, what is God doing in mission in your country? You all live in one country or another, or maybe in your state. What's happening in mission in your village? Okay? What is happening in your city or in your town or in your hamlet? What's happening there? When will the people near you have an opportunity to hear the gospel? That's a great question, you know. What sort of missionary work have you been involved in? And what sort of missionary work could you be involved in? Now, these are all incredibly important questions. They're the sort of questions that every Christian pastor needs to think hard and long about. I hope you're finding this course helpful. I'd like you to contact us at some stage quite soon to let us know what impact this is having on you and your development in your pastoral work. Well, God bless you. We look forward to catching up with you next time. Have a great day. Bye for now.